Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
Good evening and welcome to The Bahamas Tonight. I'm Giovanni Stewart. Thanks as always for joining us. Prime Minister the Right Honorable Hubert Ingram announcing a new program that his administration will adopt. It will all come through an economic mission to Brazil. The program is set to break the back of crime, shore up the arts and empower young people. It's all to come under a new F&M government while using Bahamian culture as the vehicle to usher in this social and economic change. As we hear from Shanique Miller, the announcement came at a mass rally on Clifford Park last night, the final before Bahamians go to the polls tomorrow.
Wasting no time, Prime Minister Ingram is already looking into the future of what his first year in office will look like if re-elected. Central on his transformative agenda, tapping into a multifaceted program in Brazil called Afro Reggae. The rewards are significant.
The mission of Afro Reggae is to offer a cultural and artistic education for adolescents by affording local youth more chances of strengthening their citizenship and providing them a viable path away from entanglement in the prevalent drug trade. Through the power of the arts, entertainment and film, and documentary production, Afro Reggae has transformed the lives of thousands.
Now, according to the Prime Minister, the impact of this arts-based program has reached deep into communities in the South American country.
It has restored communities while giving voice to cultural expression. We will launch such a program of empowerment in the Bahamas.
As he explained it, what the program will do is tie in with our own Bahamian culture to make a difference in turning young people away from at-risk behavior.
The F&M's vision is to utilize Bahamian culture as the route or the means to help transform the lives of and provide hope and opportunity to a new generation of young Bahamians.
And what's even more impressive about the program is what it promises to do. Among other things, strengthen what has sometimes been a slumping cultural sector. Here's how.
Such a cultural center may discover a new Freddie Mullins Sr., another Paynes Taylor, Sidney Poitier, Susan Wallace or Paul Mills. It may help to discover new Cleophas Adley, Joanne Callender or Max Taylor. Such a center will offer workshop in various arts, cultural expression and entertainment. It can help to discipline and guide scores of young men. It will help them to give voice to their talents. Our vision is to link the arts with entrepreneurship, so that our artists and entertainers can also achieve commercial success.
Now back to the race to lead the country in the next 5 years and tomorrow's deciding vote. Mr. Ingram urged the electorate to vote wisely.
Selecting a government is not about giving someone a chance to be Prime Minister. It's about selecting the best person available to govern the nation at any given point in time. On the one hand, there's poor judgment or untested judgment. I offer you good and careful judgment. On the one hand, there's failed leadership or untested leadership. I offer you bold, strong, and proven leadership. On the one hand, there's a constant wringing of hands by some of the unsteady, nervous hands of others. I offer you strong and steady hands. And I don't know about other people's hands. As for me, these hands are clean hands. On the one hand, there's a bunch of bad apples that spoil the whole PLB barrel. Or there's that green dilly that will give you indigestion and bellyache if you pick that.
Ingram said an example of change the Bahamas can really believe in is what the F&M achieved in the past 5 years. Shanique Miller, ZNS News.
Prime Minister Ingram has been touring over the hill communities in the past 3 weeks to assess the needs and concerns of those poverty-stricken areas of the capital. While going door to door, he met and greeted many residents who spoke candidly with him. He was also able to gain an appreciation for what's lacking and needed. Last night, he made this promise to change the circumstances of those communities.
One of our ambitions for Over the Hill is to ensure that we put in place a program that will ensure that there's a proper water connection to every home over the hill. We'll do so bit by bit, year by year. I want Christie's constituency of Farm Road to be like mine of Cooperstown. I want to banish outside toilets for him like we did in Cooperstown, Abaco. I want to tell you, a big upset is in the making in Bain and Grand Sound.
Prime Minister Ingram taking one last whirlwind tour of the islands throughout the archipelago yesterday, sealing what he called the bag of islands the FNM hopes to sweep come Election Day. A confident Hubert Ingram admitted that he was astounded on Saturday to see the massive support the FNM has gained across the country. As he greeted supporters, the Prime Minister not only talked about significant plans for various islands, but also revealed a major reason why the PLP should not see public office. Here's Clint Watson.
San Salvador, Cat Island, Central and South Eleuthera, and the Berry Islands, according to Prime Minister Hubert Ingram, are now in the FNM's windbag and have been tied tight for victory come Election Day. Making his final whirlwind tour of the island Saturday, Mr. Ingram reiterating his message that the PLP, in his view, continues to be riddled with scandals and secret deals. The nation's leader dropped a bombshell in San Salvador when he revealed why the deputy leader of the PLP and the candidate for Cat Island Rum Key in San Salvador is reportedly seeking to keep a court case he is involved in from reaching the media. He spoke to our news team more intimately in Cat Island on the issue.
Some allegations are made against him, serious allegations. He asked the court to seal the record, not to allow it to become public, because he said the election is coming up. He says he has a defense for it, and the court sealed the record and made it confidential and said that the case will be heard now on the 9th, 2 days after the election. I know it's in the documents. It's serious. It's unfortunate the public won't know before they vote on Monday, because I think if they did know, they would not vote for him.
Arthurstown, Cat Island has been the stronghold of the PLP for that constituency seat. But on Saturday, in an overwhelming show of support, Cat Islanders say that no longer is the case.
That's all you look for on Election Day, all red, FNM.
Michael Pentard in Cat Island, can he win Cat Island?
Can he win? He didn't win. We get it. It's red, red, red.
Michael Pentard, in my view, is the Nehemiah for Cat Island. He has the plan, he has the vision, he has the courage, and he is a winner. I have had the opportunity of speaking with those persons. They're not showing their colors, but the message in Cat Island is the same, whether it's among FNM supporters or PLP supporters. Brave have done nothing. We need him out of here, and they're going to assist in rolling him out.
From San Salvador and Cat Island was on to Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera. There, Prime Minister Ingram announced that the final approval has been given for renewed and revisited Cotton Bay Resort.
They're very close to completing final arrangements for the Centerpiece Hotel of the development to be managed and operated by the 5-star Four Seasons Hotel Group. The Four Seasons are very happy to be operating our islands, previously in Exuma. When the owners of that property were unable to maintain it at Four Seasons standard, they were compelled to leave, but they have been looking for another opportunity to return to the Bahamas.
Great Harbor Key and Pollux Harbor in the Berry Islands was next. Yet again, another PLP stronghold, which the FNM candidate, Desmond Bannister, has been targeting for the North Andros and Berry Islands seat. And he says, from all indications on Saturday, a complete turnaround should be imminent. Prime Minister Ingram says he will fix the dock, the school, build an airport terminal, and cause a bank to be opened on the island. Clint Watson, ZNS News.
It was dubbed the rally of all rallies for the governing Free National Movement on Grand Bahama last night. Following a massive motorcade through the streets of Grand Bahama, supporters converged at the East Sunrise Shopping Center to receive the final charge from party leader Prime Minister Hubert Ingram as they prepare to head to the polls on Monday. Sabrina Brown has that story.
I report to you tonight that the wave of color red is headed for victory.
Leader of the Free National Movement, Prime Minister the Right Honorable Hubert Ingram, speaking to a mass crowd of supporters on Grand Bahama for the final time before Monday's general election, stated that plans are already in the pipeline to revive this island's economy.
We are engaged in very positive negotiations for you in terms of in hotel rooms to take advantage of the new air capacity being brought to Grand Bahama by Bahamas Air. I'll have more to say about this, Lord willing, fairly soon after we are returning to office with your help here in Grand Bahama. Our vision of Grand Bahama requires a full range of on-island government services, improved public infrastructure, especially so out of Freeport in East and West Grand Bahama, expanded access to quality health care, greater education and training requires effective public safety, and enhanced recreational amenities.
The Prime Minister again told Grand Bahamians that this election is all about leadership, and he revealed what he considers some startling information about the Deputy Leader of the PLP, Philip Brave Davis, involving a court case in which allegations are levied against him.
He asked the court to keep secret the allegations made against him in the case. And he asked the court to postpone the hearing of the case until Wednesday the 9th, because the election is coming up.
Mr. Ingram also stated that the FNM has delivered a clean, scandal-free government for the past 5 years, and he highlighted a recent article in the Miami Herald which drew comparison to the FNM and PLP administrations.
They said this: 5 years after returning to power, amid an international scandal involving a former Playmate of the Year, the Bahamas ruling party will face off against opposition parties Monday in national elections to win a second consecutive term. The people went on to report. Critics say Christie has failed to reinvent his party after the loss in 2007 amid a scandal involving a former Playmate, a former Playboy model. The story also said that there were questions about the model's relationship with Christie's immigration minister at the time. The scandal renewed focus on government scandals in the Bahamas.
The nation's leader said the FNM has worked hard to change the political culture in the country and has provided honest, accountable, and transparent governance. Sabrina Brown, ZNS News.
Now, Prime Minister Ingram was expected to return to Grand Bahama today for a walkabout in West Grand Bahama, Garden Villas, and the Hawksbill community. Well, in just a matter of hours, some 172,000 registered voters will head to the polls to vote for the candidate of their choice. But just before Election Day, the Progressive Liberal Party held its last campaign rally at the R.M. Bailey Park. PLP leader, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, told hundreds of supporters that come Monday night, his party will emerge victorious to lead and build the Bahamas. This Sunday evening, PLP supporters will meet on Clifford Park to pray for a safe and fair election. Cyan Thompson tells us more.
Welcome to a party that is ready for change.
In his last campaign rally on R.M. Bailey Park, PLP leader, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, told the nation that the PLP is a big tent party and his arms are open to welcome all FNMs and DNAs into the fold.
I can't tell you how many people I met today who always had red and saw red, but they just can't take what has happened to them and the FNM. They're mad that Ingram is a one-man band.
Here's why Mr. Christie stated that some FNMs and those who broke away to form the DNA are angry with the Free National Movement.
They're mad that there are no new leaders being groomed, no new voices allowed, no disagreement permitted. That's not an FNM they want to be a part of. They don't like that party now. They are angry and afraid about Ingram's failure to lead on crime. They are angry about 500 murders. They're angry about those roadworks, $100 million over budget, and still no end in sight. FNMs are embarrassed. The Bahamas is being outpaced by our competitors, being downgraded internationally, and at the bottom of the Caribbean in economic growth and stopover tourists. So they're going gold, and I say welcome.
Mr. Christie and his team are resolute that they've convinced the nation that the country's best asset is the Bahamian people and they must be treated as such. He also sent a special message to Centerville.
When I am in Inagua and Freeport and Crooked Island and Bimini and Ragged Island and Exuma and the Abacos and Andros and the Berry Islands and Eleuthera and Long Island, I am spreading the PLP message and vision for hope. But it really means when I'm doing that I'm not with you in Centerville. But I know you, Centerville. I know you know who I am. I know you know who you should vote for. I know when the votes are counted, Centerville will be in the winning column.
Here was Mr. Christie's final campaign charge to the country.
On Monday, let's vote with pride and dignity and love for our nation. On Monday, let's raise our voices up and down and mark the X in the right place. And then on Tuesday, on May the 8th, We have a country to build. Let's agree to do it together.
Cyan Thompson, ZNS News.
The PLP was back to Grand Bahama last night for its second rally on that northern island in the past week. It was the party's final opportunity to lay out its case before the voters of Grand Bahama. During his address, the PLP leader told supporters that new PLP government will give focused attention to Grand Bahama's economy. Shashina Roll reports.
With a sash around his neck and a heavyweight belt around the waist, the leader of the Progressive Liberal Party told a large crowd of supporters that his party will win Monday's battle at the polls and form the next government of the Bahamas. He says come Tuesday, the PLP will go straight to work for Grand Bahama.
We're going to address the environmental concerns of Hunters and the Pendant Point area. We're going to extend the duty-free concessions under the Family Island Development Act to West and East Grand Bahama. We're going to use all the levers of government to expand Bahamian ownership within tourism. We're going to reduce hotel and airport and harbor taxes, and Grand Bahama, we're going to make you competitive.
Mr. Christie says the PLP will fight to ensure that jobs are available on the island, and in cases where persons are not qualified, training will be provided.
We're going to double the investment in education. I'm talking about a revolution with access to the best training and technology.
He says the FNM government had 3 cabinet ministers on Grand Bahama, yet this island went from the Magic City to a ghost town. Christie charges that there is proof that the current Minister of Tourism, Vincent Vanderpool Wallace, admitted a gigantic failure in Grand Bahama's tourism economy, but he says that's not all.
They've used the Port Authority as an excuse for the neglect. They've raised your taxes. They've failed to keep you safe. They failed to deliver on a promise to homeowners facing foreclosure. They ran up the national debt for projects that ain't got nothing to do with Grand Bahama. And now they come smiling and saying they're going to take 5. Haven't they taken enough from you, Grand Bahama?
With what he regards as the best slate of candidates in the country, the PLP leader had this bit of advice for supporters.
Go to bed tonight knowing that Hubert Ingram and all of his divisiveness, all of his lies, all of his petty politics, all of his dividing people, those days are coming to an end. PLP! PLP!
Shashina Roll, ZNS News.
And it was a long push on Saturday as the Progressive Liberal Party was greeted by large crowds of supporters in the constituencies of Maikal, Central and South Eleuthera, North Eleuthera, Long Island, and Grand Bahama. Our Cyan Thompson traveled with the delegation and gives us the highlights.
During the Family Island tour, among the plans, duty-free exemption for first home owners bringing in supplies and crown land for major business development. According to the PLP leader, the FNM gave Bahamians throughout the country temporary jobs as election favors. Mr. Christie says he plans on keeping these workers on. Meantime, the first stop, Crooked Island, where the PLP leader met with enthusiastic supporters.
They decided to go into road building, and they are now overspent on road building near $100 million. That in itself is almost criminal. That is criminal neglect on their part. When would you think if you had 10 million of that to put in here, you'd had your roads, you'd had your dock.
Iguana, a critical stop where Mr. Christie told residents that the PLP will work on foreign direct investment to turn that island into a mini city. Like other islands, overjoyed residents of Acklands welcomed the PLP delegation.
We have to find the right formula to be able to inspire Bahamians to do more, to do better, to think big, and to get involved.
Inaugural PLP supporters pulling out all the stops, rolling out the gold carpet as they led a motorcade into Matthewtown. Not to be outdone was Long Island, where PLP candidate Alex Storr and supporters heard Mr. Christie speak of his confidence in Mr. Storr. Meantime, North, Central, and South Lutherans showing their support for PLP candidates Damian Gomez and Clay Sweeting. Cyan Thompson, ZNS News.
Also tonight, Democratic National Alliance candidate for Golden Isles, Farrell Goff, is upset after he says all of his largest signs in the area were torn down over the weekend. He says some were even thrown into nearby bushes. Goff calls it a clear and deliberate attack on his campaign in the area, and he added that this type of behavior is unacceptable in this day and age. Well, coming up, some kids speak out on child abuse.